majority of First Bloods, and Peanut was there for most of them.
Makes sense.
He's only at 20% this season.
What
Again,
have they done with Peanut?
Only 5 games, but it shows that ROX is playing a more reserved style at the start of this season than we're used to seeing them play.
Yeah. Well, let's move into picks and bans for game number 1 of the day between ESC and Tigers. Trundle the first ban there, and Trundle right now the current only champion with 100% win rate in LCK Summer.
I think he is going to be increasingly a must ban. There's no way to deal with him with the changes to QSS.
Yep.
As a flex pick also, Varus is going to be banned, something that both of these teams should like to play here, so that's a...
Maybe that's why, you know, maybe ESC has a plan to pick something a bit different. Maybe they're going for an early Victor pick or something like that, you know, take that away from Kuro. They don't want Kuro to be able to default to Varus.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Kindred will be the final ban, so Peanut will be on something different. They first picked the Azir, even though that's not a priority with Kuro in the lineup. In fact, you feel good if Kuro is playing Azir because his play on that particular champion has been traditionally very, very poor.
Yeah. He literally can't play that champion.
No, he can't.
Yeah. He's a great Victor. He's the original Victor, but he's not cut out for Azir. Yeah, so Peanut may grab this Elise here. Few good junglers remaining.
Yeah, got the Rek'Sai, got the Elise, Graves if necessary.
Yeah, Graves has fallen off quite a bit.
Definitely. It just when you have to farm that much on Graves early and you can't affect the early game with the power of the elemental drakes.
Yeah.
Definitely not as big of a priority pick these days. Echo still on the board. Echo Elise should give them some pretty powerful lane at the top side. And Echo Ashe. So the Ashe pick has risen in priority simply because of how these teams play. There's Loken on his screen right now, grinning as he sees the early pick Ashe from Prey.
Well, I love watching Ashe. These pick comps have been really, really fun to cast, and we knew we were going to see the Ashe pick in this series. Both of these AD carries love playing it. Both of these teams love playing that pick comp, so no shock there.
Well, and really only between these two teams would you see the Ashe pick before the Lucian. That's
that's the truth. So it might be Elise Lucian for ESC, which would not be too shocking. And, you know, I mean, Rek'Sai, if Peanut picks that up, would fit right in with the pick comp that they're, you know, seemingly kind of put together. It will be the Elise Lucian for ESC.
Yeah, you'd rather have the Elise with the pick comp generally, but it's fine. And now Prey is going to hover over that Amumu.
You know, ROX Tigers would be the kind of team to do this too, wouldn't they?
Well, MVP did play with an Azir, Ashe, and Amumu composition because you can chain the arrow straight into an Amumu ultimate. Grog is also on the rise, particularly in other regions, provides another strong answer for engage from a jungler, and an acceptable selection for a pick composition.
Well, the funny thing is, Beyond on MVP really actually played a great Amumu. He was hitting all of his bandage tosses, and he was pressing R at the right time.
Nice.
Yep, that's what it takes to be a good Amumu. So Braum Graves locked in for ROX Tigers. So Peanut's going to be grabbing the Graves this time.
He's a Graves grabber.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we'll see what he does on this. He's going to need some time, of course, to farm up right there. Very safe defensive lane in the Ashe Braum combination.
Yeah, we saw them hover over the Gragas a little bit. That has been pretty big in EU.
I love how his jersey says ESC key.
Escape key. That's right. There we go. And we need another team called Shift that he can join or something. Control. Hey, it's even in the right place.
Yep.
It's in the upper left. I guess you could call the front of his shirt the keyboard.
Yeah, that's
perhaps.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's if he plays against Jin Air. Then he's keyboard.
And it will be the Renekton. Whoa. Okay. Well, Renekton did receive some buffs a while ago, but even though he did take those buffs, we haven't actually seen the Renekton pick in quite some time. LeBlanc would be a Kuro staple to fall back on. We've seen some very interesting picks the last couple of days, including that Shen last night. Didn't actually work out.
Yeah, it didn't work too well. They tried to go Shen Twitch and go for the Submarat.
Yeah, which is a classic combination, right?
Yeah.
But still was an execution-heavy composition that they couldn't really pull off.
Yep, that's right. Yep. What I thought was interesting last night with the SKT CJ series was the Thresh bans against Madlife. I mean, obviously he's been a godly Thresh player for a long time, but Thresh just hasn't been big in the meta lately.
Yeah.
Must be Scrim results.
Must be. That's the
Must
only.
be. Well, it's going to be finally that LeBlanc indeed locked in for the ROX Tigers. And so there you have your rosters for our first game of the night between ESC and the Tigers. And going into this, you'd imagine that the edge would go over to the ROX Tigers, but ESC has been surprising, and surprising in a good way. And we'll see if Crazy can make this Renekton pick work out.
Yeah, the last time Renekton was changed was on patch 6.5. So did make his Ruthless Predator a bit more consistent, and also gave Fury to both Slice and Dice, where we only saw the Dice with the Fury previously, and then did make his Dominus a little weaker early game, a little stronger in the late game to sort of balance him out to be not just that lane dominant pick, but certainly a very powerful pick champion, especially when combined with the Cocoon from Elise. Makes up for some very easy ganks, and the Taric coming through yet again. We'll see what Key can do on that particular champion. Should be exciting.
I'm surprised to see Maokai fall all the way through Pix Advance's game.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Well, ESC.
That's right. ESC versus ROX Tigers, game number 1. Let's see who takes it. Time to get in the game. Oh, and we've just received word as we move into Summoner's Rift for our first game, ESC versus the Tigers at now. All right, ESC dropped Ever, and we've just received word, Monty. Are you ready for this? That the ROX Tigers have dropped ROX. Now they are just
God
the
damn
Tigers.
it.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding you right now. I was just literally handed a piece of paper by one of our ADs, and it has ROX Tigers with an arrow pointing to just Tigers with a circle around it and some stars.
I like the stars.
I know, she added stars on there too. And then ESC Ever with an arrow, and then just ESC with a circle and more stars around it. The stars mean it's extra important. So, okay.
Stars
right.
ensure accuracy.
Yeah, that's right. It's nothing but pure professionalism here. I got stars on my kindergarten spelling test sometimes.
I give you stars.
I
give you gold stars sometimes after our broadcasts when
That's
I think
right.
you do really well.
If I
he really
say
likes that, guys.
If I say something really smart, Monty just puts a sticker right on my prep documents. I'm like, thank you. A gold star today.
Right on
wow.
your cheek. I just lean over.
That's right. It comes off when I take the makeup off. You should wait until I do that, and then it'll stay all night.
Also, if you cast a team fight really well, just like lean over.
Just put it right on my cheek.
Just put a star right on your cheek.
That is adorable. Tarek would approve. Well, okay, so I guess, guys, it's ESC versus Tigers and nothing else. So don't even try to put words like Ever or ROX in there. That's right out.
Good, just limit our vocabulary as broadcasters. Just makes it a little bit harder.
I like it. Less for me to say. It's less vocal fatigue. It's important, you know?
I don't know. Tigers has one extra syllable. It's actually increasing your vocal fatigue.
You don't have to say ROX, though. Before it was ROX Tigers, now it's just Tigers.
Both of them have extra syllables. It's not good.
Well, no, because you cut entire words out. They didn't give us the easy words. It wasn't Ever and ROX, but it's ESC, Escape Key, coming in, and just Tigers, even though it says ROX in front of the names. But ignore that. It should just be Tigers, I guess. Well.
Who knows, really?
Who knows? It'll be. You know, the funny thing is, I almost said, I'm surprised the ROX Tigers haven't changed their name this season yet. And then they did. Then they did 10 minutes after I was thinking that.
I think they're not changing their name. I think they just prefer to be called the Tigers because ROX is not a sponsor. It is simply their own designation because they had to have a tag.
It is their attitude.
It's their attitude because they came together like a pile of rocks. Now, don't ask me how that makes sense because I don't understand it, but that is the reasoning behind the ROX name.
Well, Monty, over thousands of years, sediment and erosion can cause rocks to sort of pile together, and then an esports team emerges, I guess.
And that's how esports teams are born.
That's right, the evolution of esports from those primordial rocks.
There's a...
Wow, Dongjun looks beautiful.
There he is. Prancing around Summoner's Rift.
Yep. Much like he prances around the studio. He walks in the same.
He actually walks the same exactly way. Like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. What a coincidence. We both thought that at the same time.
We call it the Dongjun mincing.
That's right. Dapper Dongjun. So it's going to be Mountain Drake starting things off, and it looks like ESC is going to be able to pick that one up after we saw the pretty standard lane swap in the first few minutes of this game.
Yeah, tempo advantage over to ESC, which is why they have the opportunity to go ahead and take that Mountain Drake just a little bit earlier. There will be handy when it comes to doing that Baron with the Azir.
That's a big one too. I mean, the what we've really noticed so far is that the Mountain Drake and the Infernal Drakes are the by far the most valuable ones, especially in the early game. And so we'll see if ESC can put those to use. Yeah,
but it will delay, of course, the top laner from returning over there. In fact, Crazy went back down for some more CS, but Ashe was already there, making the faster swap back. So we're going to see a pretty big advantage here for Smeb. This is what happened in yesterday between SK Telecom and CJ, and it ended up with Untara in a giant CS and experience hole, which he never really got out of. Now, it was a more threatening matchup when it comes to the actual, it was a Trundle versus Maokai, so Trundle getting that big split push advantage and the jump start into the late game was more impactful, but it's also a Renekton, which notably is not very strong in the late game, even with an additional 50 more HP and Dominus. He's not really going to be doing a whole lot.
Yeah, the buff didn't really make a big difference, and that's why
it wasn't huge.
We didn't see him picked much, So clearly the pro scene thought that same thing, but do you think that as we see Crow's passive pop there, do you think maybe that they picked this Renekton because they wanted the 1v1 against Echo?
Yeah, I would assume that that's what they wanted. That's the only reasonable answer I can give to you as to why the Renekton was selected.
I can't really think of any other reason, because it clearly in the, like you mentioned, or like we're seeing in the lane swap, he just kind of doesn't get to do what Renekton is supposed to do, and then late games doesn't have a lot of power.
Yeah. It is a bit of a head scratcher, but sometimes you can't always predict those lane swaps. It is,
I suppose,
it's pretty much a coin toss these days because of the dearth of possible early wards that can actually suss out that situation. The number of ways that teams can play around them if you do invade for deep vision. Lots of mind games. It is pretty coin flippy as to whether you actually get the lane swap or not. Regardless, he did catch up for this wave, but he's also driving a very large wave up towards Echo right now. Won't be the end of the world for this Renekton, but certainly will be playing a bit from behind.
Well, he's finally got the 1v1, though, that he was probably looking for, so we'll see what he can do with it.
Yeah, but his first recall didn't actually get him that much, and Smeb had a chance to recall after getting those 25 CS to pick up a Sheen, so there isn't an item advantage right now for Smeb.
Sure.
Which will nullify a bit of that.
Maybe
and he's going to get a huge minion wave right now, too.
I think he just wanted to use that cool skin. Oh, Peanut tried to go for the collateral damage to stop the recall from Temp, but it didn't work out. Crazy being aggressive here, but you can see that Smeb's just coming out a little bit ahead in those trades.
Yeah, it did have to tank a minion wave, though, so make it a little bit more difficult, but Loken and Key now back to pushing up this wave, and at least they got a bit of an edge on their AD carry in response. They've been playing a little bit further back right now. And ESC is going to have an opportunity to make some plays on the map at the moment, considering that everybody's pushed pretty far back on the side of the Tigers.
And here's where that Mountain Drake buff might come in handy. If they can push a little bit farther up, get some hits onto those turrets maybe.
Yep.
We will see. I'm just waiting for the Prey Ashe picks to come in.
Those are always exciting. He's very good at hitting that from the Fog of War, and especially with Kuro on a pick champion like LeBlanc and the burst coming in from Graves.
A Bless coming up for a gank onto Smeb. Cocoon gets dodged. Smeb flashes out. Looks like he'll live. Starting that recall immediately.
Yeah, not the best Cocoon there from Bless. Trying to predict that flash just a little bit early, and didn't actually end up hitting it, so they couldn't chain the CC. Smeb will escape in one piece and also still be able to farm up this quite large minion wave that's headed under his turret. Crazy has gone back and picked up the Tiamat already, as expected. So pretty standard Renekton build, nothing too surprising. Kuro has had to go for the Negatron Cloak first into the Abyssal just because of the poke coming in from Azir.
Well, ESC going for a blue buff steal here, red buff steal rather. But looks like Gorilla and Peanut are there to prevent it. And are they going to try to make a plan to Kuro here? Nope. Bless and Key just taking a walk through the mid lane.
Yeah, ESC really needs to find a way to get some deep wards in to punish these freezes that the ROX Tigers have going on right now, because ROX is, or the Tigers, whatever, are playing a very defensive early game here. They're going to try and make a play onto Crazy. Peanut is lurking in those brushes, but without reliable crowd control, that gank is really difficult to make. So it looks like Peanut was just waiting there in case there was some sort of counter gank that was going to come through. Realistically, the Echo and the Graves combination is not going to be able to kill a Renekton with flash available.
He puts a ward down in the river, though, so that'll give Smeb the ability to push up a little bit farther. And you know, we haven't seen a ton of games yet, obviously, but Smeb has been looking a little bit rougher this season than we're used to.
Yeah, he's been inconsistent. Some of his games have been pretty good. Some of his Fizz games have been sad.
And then he played Rumble. That didn't go well.
His Rumble wasn't that bad, but yeah, he definitely hasn't looked like the world beater that he was in the spring.
Plenty of season to turn that around, though. Another Mountain Drake on the way, and that would be really big if ESC could pick that one up. Big for both teams, but especially for ESC, you know, to have that double buff.
Yeah, it's
double Mountain Drake.
It's going to be tricky, though. Temp trying to go in right there for some damage, poke out the members of the Tigers, but
Cocoon onto Gorilla. Who's there? Poking begins. Ooh, wow.
This is a really hard fight for the Tigers to take.
Got teleport coming in. Crazy. They're going to try to make a play onto Prey, but Prey is already far away. Ash Arrow just defensively. Turn it around. And so it looks like that gank not working out. But what it does do is push ROX Tigers back, and it might gain ESC this dragon. Drake.
Dangerous, but at the same time, Peanut's just going to try for a steal right here. Oh, they're going to TB. They're going for it.
Smeb coming in. Drake at about half health right now. Smeb just dueling with Crazy on the bottom side of the Dragon Pit. Collateral damage comes in for a lot of damage. Drake does go over to ESC. Bless very low. Flashes on the wall. Q on the Temp. He's going to go back in. That's 2 kills now for the ROX Tigers. I'm sorry, for just the Tigers. And so they lose the Drake, but they do pick up 2 kills off of it.
Why did Temp go back in right there?
I was wondering the same thing. That was bizarre.
Yeah, they're bottled up in the Dragon Pit right now. Let's take a look at that. Collateral damage gets some nice... That was so good, the stun from Smeb. Parallel convergence over the wall after skirmishing with this Renekton. And Temp, he made a mistake. He made a mistake. He didn't know his Sand Soldier was back in that pit as he moved to it. So that was a mechanical error from Temp that caused him to die as well.
At the end of it, it is still 2 Mountain Drakes for ESC, but now they're starting to fall behind in gold pretty significantly, and those Drakes are definitely not as helpful if you can't get in range of the towers to hit them.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that the Tigers wanted to take that fight, considering that their alternative was farming more in the top side, and certainly it is a risk to try and give a team with an Azir a couple of Mountain Drakes because of how easy it will be to kill the Baron at spawn or shortly thereafter in the 20 to 25 minute range. But at the same time, when you get such a big advantage onto Smeb, maybe that's something you want to take. But they still managed to get the fight. Smeb just delaying Crazy on the side and then ending up inside the Dragon Pit with a great use of that parallel convergence. And the fact that he landed 2 stuns at least allowed them to get a couple of kills in return and start to take a big gold lead here.
Right. I mean, it seems like part of it, too, is that this Renekton from Crazy, you know, kind of like we were guessing, just isn't doing a whole lot. It kind of got zoned out immediately by Smeb. And he also wasn't really able to be in the team fight.
Renekton also used his ultimate really early, sort of by himself, and a lot of Renekton's power in the early game comes from the immense amount of damage that Dominus can do as an AoE effect in the early stages of the game. You know, it can do 450 magic damage.
Stun on the Crazy. They're going to try to make a pick. Ash Arrow comes through as well. Good pick, but here comes the rest of ESC. Can they turn this around? Prey gets exhausted, gets down to about half health, but he's okay. Azir trying to do some damage. Tempt actually making it work against Gorilla. Oh, but there's a double kill for Smeb as Bless comes down out of the repel and can't quite keep himself alive.
I mean, Kuro didn't even need to be there for that. They absolutely dominated ESC under that turret, and they're playing with their advantage right now. They have that big potential, great engage from the Tigers, and when you hit somebody with that Ash arrow, you could finish them off very quickly. And Crazy just makes an error right there, gets hit by the parallel convergence, doesn't use his slice early enough to make it out of that. And then Keys just sort of left alone under the turret. Tempt is there too. It's nice kiting right here. Smeb does get another kill with the help of that phase dive, using what little mana he had remaining.
I was surprised that Tempt didn't use his ultimate during that fight.
Yeah, that was a mistake too.
You'd think he'd try to Emperor's Divide people back under the turret, but he just didn't ever hit on.
Well, Tempt has not been playing very well. That Azir mistake earlier on may have gotten into his head because that was pretty sloppy Azir play. I mean, following your Sand Soldier back into the Dragon Pit like that is a pretty inexcusable mistake.
Yeah. Tempt has been he's been pretty good so far this season, but this is definitely not one of his better games. Gonna try to make a pick onto Smeb. Nice cocoon. Smeb can't dodge that one. He's gonna ult back for a bit more health, turning back around onto Bless. But Smeb in a lot of trouble. Here comes Kuro though. Can he turn it around? Kuro comes down. He's got a good amount of damage on that LeBlanc. Oh yeah, I guess that works. Dominus pop for Crazy. Smeb getting very low, but he just starts in to do enough damage, backs out, gives Kuro the double kill.
Smeb really mind-gamed them in that little engagement, because you'll notice that he threw the parallel convergence back behind him, and he didn't actually try and go back in it. Now, if he had tried to go for that stun or the shield onto the Echo, it may have tipped ESC off that there was a LeBlanc coming down into that lane. But by simply abandoning it, it made them think he was on the run, caused them to over-pursue, and Kuro ended up there on the collapses. We know he's good at doing.
True. Whoa, Ash arrow doesn't hit.
Still hit Loken.
Braum ult did not hit either. Well, I guess it connected Loken, I suppose.
Well, the Braum ult, at the very end,
Yeah.
Still get Loken with that, able to take the turret, and Tigers, man, doing just so much work this game already, looking much more like the Tigers we saw earlier this year.
Yeah, Kuro looks very comfortable on that LeBlanc as well.
Well, it's staple Kuro champion.
Sure is, but you know, one wondered. We were a little bit worried about Kuro, where he didn't show up for a couple of matches. They picked Cry instead, and it seems like they're just kind of recognizing that each one of these mid laners has their individual strengths, and they just kind of want to pick based on the matchup.
There's never been really a time where Kuro hasn't performed in the regular season. The problem that the Tigers have is that Kuro appears to have some sort of mental block when he plays against Faker, because he always plays significantly worse than usual in a playoff match against SK Telecom.
Or in a finals match.
A finals match, yeah. And that's been a big problem for the Tigers, is that now in 3 finals that they've lost, especially this last spring's finals, Kuro just played really poorly.
Yeah. And
how do you get over that? At some point, Kuro's had enough chances against Faker. He also lost finals such as the NLB finals when he was on Najin's Sword to SK Telecom, and it's been just this hurdle that Kuro has never been able to overcome. And I think if you're the Tigers, at a certain point, you just have to say, well, we've got to figure out some other solution because this can't be allowed to continue.
Yeah. Smeb looked like he was in a bit of trouble, but then I remembered he's way ahead on Echo. All right, so it was an Ocean Drake. The next one's going to be the Cloud Drake. Tigers picks up their first Drake of the game.
Yeah, at this point, too. And it's absolutely brutal. Their advantage, 7,000 lead, and the Tigers doing a better impression.
After 1v1. Nope.
Of the Tigers that we're used to, which is very intelligent play around minion waves, knowing when to take these early team fights and skirmishes.
Yeah. Have to go in on the Bless. Braum ult thrown in onto Loken Key again. The Dazzle used. There's the ultimate from Tarek. Keeps people alive for the moment anyway. Causes a flash from Gorilla as they need to get out, but Peanut comes in and just blows up Loken. Here comes Smeb. No connection with the parallel convergence, goes in to try to get the kill onto Key. Dives deep but can't quite do it. Bless takes a lot of damage, but lives too.
Oh!
Smep barely getting out of the range of those Sand Soldiers there.
Yeah, the first part of the phase dive, getting him out of reach there just barely.
Yeah.
Like one more auto attack from that. Azir may have been able to clean him up, and they dive deep, but they're not really punished for it. Smep did have to burn his flash, but that's about it.
Well, let's check that out again. So Bless just gets caught. Nice Braum ult again over the top.
Just a great ult there from Gorilla. He knows that there's nowhere really for Bless to repel to, so he is going to just cut off Loken. Key getting very low from the collateral damage. Smeb comes in, gets the shield, and then phase dives all the way through, just barely can't kill Key as the healing potion is running, and then dodges out of the way of those Sand Soldiers at the end. But the Tigers really giving no breathing room to this ESC squad.
Yeah. The Tigers have kind of, that's a lot of damage onto Logan. It feels like the Tigers have really kind of decided this game at least to be like, all right, people had doubts about us coming into the season. Let's show them we're still the Tigers. We're not the ROX Tigers anymore, but we're still the Tigers.
Just forget about those Jungle Echo Aurelion Soul games.
That's right. Don't worry about that. That was in the past. That was like a whole week ago.
Certainly looking much more on form and like the team we know.
Nobody loves a Rift Herald, so he will depart this mortal coil himself.
Yep. Who do you think he gives the buff to on the other side? Kassadin, maybe? Cho'Gath?
I don't know. Where do the T-shirts go from the Super Bowl that say the other team won? I think that the buff goes to the same place. No one really knows for sure. I've heard rumors, but I haven't seen proof.
I think there's plenty of pictures of that, Doa.
I haven't seen proof myself. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying I haven't seen it. Crazy's Renekton just has not worked out this game.
Well, they did prioritize the Drake instead of getting their top laner ahead.
Yeah.
At a certain point, kind of the fault is on your team in terms of reading which objectives are the most important.
If you're going to pick Renekton, you probably want to
play around the Renekton?
Yeah,
you
play
probably
a way where Renekton can succeed.
Not use your Renekton to take the first Drake in the game and instead use it to bully the other top laner.
Nice stun on the Logan. Well, that's a nice chain of crowd control. And Logan.
Extreme amounts of damage from the Graves.
I guess so, yeah. No escape there.
There is no escape for ESC.
Nope. I see what you did there. No escape. They need to... I mean, so far this game, the Tigers have been the only ones hitting the escape key. They've been hitting him hard. Not too hard. He's only died twice, but you get the idea. What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
What in the world? I don't even know. Was that LeBlanc?
Some
Ash?
Some moaning right there.
I guess so. I don't know what was going on in that bot lane, but man.
Sounded like a good time.
I guess so. Yeah.
Right now with the third item QSS, that being said, the Dazzles, the Cocoons, and the Ruthless Predators going to be much less helpful when it comes to locking him down.
Well, Logan's just terrified of everything now.
Wouldn't you be? He doesn't even have his Black Cleaver yet.
Yeah. It's like, I thought I was the OP champ.
Just a sad man with a hammer.
Yep.
It's all right. If he has a hammer, at least he can still go full old boy.
It's true. No octopus to eat, though. Well, we're in Korea, though, so there's actually plenty of that.
Yeah, there is plenty of octopus.
He can get that after the match. Some nice, fresh Sanknakji.
They did rebake Old Boy, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, God.
I know.
I just blocked that from my memory. By the way, guys, if you want to watch Old Boy, watch the original Korean version. It is a fantastic movie.
Baron for ROX. Or I'm sorry, for Tigers. I'm going to be doing that for the rest of my life. Why did they do this to me, Monty?
Let's try and make it as hard as possible on us.
I know, right?
Both teams just say, ignore part of our name, please.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to get rid of the name in our names. But please ignore
or
that.
our logos.
I mean, what are they going to put in front of their names now? TGR?
Well, I think ROX will keep the ROX. They just want to be referred to as Tigers because ROX isn't actually a sponsor.
Yes.
And for the exact opposite reason of ESC having the sponsor of eSports Connect, they want us to refer to them as just ESC.
Yeah. Not ever anymore. Never ever. All right, well, that's one Cloud Drake, and the next Drake is Cloud Drake.
Exciting.
Not really.
It's a cloudy day here in Seoul.
No, that's a lot of days this time of year. It's not clouds, though. It's pollution.
Thanks, China.
Yeah, jeez. Thanks a lot, LPL. I'm going to put it in league terms. I'm blaming Uzi personally.
Take all the players and give us your pollution.
That's right.
That's not a fair trade, China.
No, that's not nice at all. Why would they do that? Smeb gets cocooned and trying to make a pick onto him. He's getting away. Wow, it's the great Smeb chase, but he gets out. Meanwhile, the bottom inhibitor taken down by the Tigers.
Temp flashing forward, trying to get some sort of scoop play with his ultimate onto Smeb, and Key is going to get hit by an arrow and die.
Oh yeah, he will indeed. Collateral damage, Kuro finishing him off, and the Tigers look like they are nearly ready to end this one.
Well, they do have a 14,000 gold lead at 24 minutes, so.
Got the Baron buff too.
Got the Baron, just rolling on through this game. Not much to say. They played extremely well around those dives. This is classic Tigers.
Classic Tigers. Oh, all right, Crazy's trying to be a hero, but he's actually almost dead. He will be soon. There we go. Kuro with the kill there. Smeb getting low, just ults back for safety. Hard to kill Echo. Gorilla, though, he's pretty easy to kill, apparently. Everyone backing off. They take down the inhibitor turret, but ESC may have an opportunity to win a team fight here. Flash, there's the execute from Elise. Exhaust on the Smeb. Maybe they can catch him. Prey trying to slow people down, but Tempt getting in range. Prey like one auto attack from death. Oh, can't quite hit him. Smeb cocoon, though, he may go down. Bless, another auto or two may do it.
Nobody has any mana.
Yeah, well, Tempt has plenty of mana. Prey may be dead here. Peanut turning it around, and actually Smeb, they make it a kill. No, Bless picks up the one onto Smeb. Prey escapes. Peanut on the run, gets dazzled, gets dead eventually. There we go. And that was a bit crazy. That was a bit, overeager, a little bit sloppy from the Tigers.
You know what, though? It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. They're still up 51,000 gold to 38.
Yeah.
Let's watch that again.
They did go a little bit nuts under the turret right here. You see Kuro's going to flash and Q in order to pick up the kill onto Crazy. And then they're going to just try and turn this around, but they do dive a little bit too far. They get the turret in the end, which is enough. And then the great chase begins, where all the members of the Tigers have no mana and no HP. Ended up in that wacky little chase. And there we go. Arrow is going to swing wide of Key and Loken. But it doesn't really matter if they die there. It's actually better for them to take the turret and die, because now they have more of an opportunity to crack the base again. There wasn't a Baron to take. There wasn't a Dragon to take. Yeah. There's no reason why dying there gives the enemy team anything at all, and it's better just to sacrifice yourself to kill the turret at that stage. So the shot call from the Tigers there is fine, even if it does give a few kills over.
It's not a big concern. Not too much. As Kuro goes in for a bit of pushing in the top lane. And ESC, they're pretty much out of luck unless they can win several miracle team fights in a row. They're going to try. They're going to stack up.
It's the pick posse.
Yep. Oh, I saw.
Uh-oh, they saw.
Oh, they see the connection. Can you see the Oh, Cocoon on the Gorilla. Maybe he can. Key gets very, very low, though. Gorilla blocking a lot of damage of the culling with that shield. Meanwhile, Smeb pushing down the mid lane.
You shouldn't be able to see the Bastion connection.
I don't think you can,
if you're in the fog of war.
Yeah.
So if you can't see the champion, then you shouldn't be able to see that connection.
Right. Nobody likes getting surprised by Bastion, let me tell you. Yeah.
We haven't seen many Bastion play of the games, though, yet.
That's right. Maybe we will. Not this game from Key. We've seen a lot of them elsewhere. Well, the Tigers getting pushed back as they try to take this inhibitor. ESC clinging to life for the moment. Key still has that ultimate to use if they need to. And Tigers know that. They're just poking. Peanut gets cocooned, has to back away. Gorilla comes in for the Braum ultimate. Goes down. Crazy tries to make a play. Prey with the double kill already, though. And the Tigers just seem to barely have enough. Kuro comes in for 1 kill as Smeb gets a double, and that's a clean ace. And that's the end of game number 1. Tigers, playing a little bit crazy towards the end, but it was pretty much all Tigers all game long. They're going to end this one with about a 18,000 gold lead. That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
GG.
And they played so well. Their rotations, their ability to put pressure down and snowball their advantage. But at the same time, ESC, I don't think Renekton is a great pick right now. I certainly don't think that it's worth taking that Renekton in the top lane because of the risk of the lane swap and the fact that champions like Maokai are still available. Nice experimental pick there from ESC, but if you are going to take that Renekton pick, you can't let him fall behind in levels in CS like he did against Smeb and prioritize the early Drake, because it's just not going to do you any favors. And you need to maximize the lane bully status and the pushing power of a Tiamat Renekton. Instead, as Tiamat came